Hello and welcome to our webinar today. I am so thrilled to chat with you for a little while about our application tips and tricks. We are super excited to share a lot of information about the application process and hopefully not take up too much of your afternoon here on a Saturday. So thank you so much for joining us. My name is April Marquin. I'm Senior Associate Director of Recruitment at Simon Business School at the University of Rochester. And today we want to talk about how to make a standout application for our part-time programs. And I'm super thrilled to be able to continue the conversation as well. So we'll have opportunities for Q&A if you'd like to. I'll stick around. And also we'll share our contact information if you'd like to connect with us at a later point. But this is our agenda for today. So we want to give a brief overview of the 4 part-time programs that we offer here at Simon Business School. And we'll talk through, what you're here to learn about today, the admissions tips, and then next steps if you are excited and motivated to get started with your application if you haven't already. So without further ado, let's get started. So oftentimes when I have conversations with prospective part-time program students, they're deciding between maybe a couple different programs, trying to find the best one for their needs, for their goals, depending on their background. So having a little bit of an overview is sometimes helpful to show prospective students such as yourself today what we have to offer here at Simon. And so we've got 4 unique programs. They're pretty distinct from each other, but there are quite a few similarities as well. So there's a bit of overlap. But we'll start with the professional MBA program. I'm a little bit biased towards a couple just because I am a current student in the professional MBA program, an alum of another program that I'll talk about shortly. But I love obviously all of our programs equally and happy to share the kind of logistics of the program, of course, the application process, et cetera. But there are some unique, distinctions between each of the programs to ensure that you find the right one for you. I think we do a really great job of catering to all prospective student needs with our offerings. So we'll start, like I said, with the professional MBA program. So as you can see, the PMBA program, similar to other graduate school programs, you work with other students to accomplish your group assignments, projects, maybe like a final deliverable presentation that you have to turn in. And that's done with intention. So you do have a little bit of individual work at Simon, but a lot of the classroom work is going to be working with others. And that is, again, intentional with you to the idea for students rather to be able to cross-functionally work with people who have different backgrounds and work experiences to accomplish a common goal. And that's going to be common in many different business schools. So you have that team-based learning with other working professionals. Also unique to the professional MBA program is that it offers specializations. So you have the ability in half of the program to pick and choose concentrations or specializations, as we call them, in areas such as marketing, finance, consulting. You can even do a minor, which is a kind of a cluster of 3 or 4 classes to help you with kind of concentrating your efforts and really being able to maybe complement the experience that you have in a certain space with some, financial kind of curriculum and understanding there. So you've got the ability to really personalize your program in this method of or modality of receiving the MBA. We also have a way for you to start this program through what's called non-matriculated entry. So that just means that you take a class, maybe you take 2 classes just to feel the waters, just to kind of dip your toe and say, this is going to be a right path for me. It's a non-committal way to take a core class in the MBA program here at Simon and be able to use that class in your degree plan within the PMBA if you do decide to move forward. We do have options every entry term in Simon, which is every 7 weeks, to do one of these non-matriculated entries. And you could, kick off your EMBA curriculum without even being an official professional MBA student. So we urge all of our prospective PMBA students to take a look at that option. So as I mentioned, a lot of electives in the professional MBA program. There's 10 core classes, 10 electives. So almost half of the program is what you decide you want to take. Do you want to take those finance classes? Do you want to maybe take a healthcare administration sort of class that looks at healthcare data analytics? Or are you really interested in understanding negotiations? Or do you want to dig into strategy a little bit more? So that's what I really love about the professional MBA program. It's very tailored to what your needs are and what you feel like is going to help you in the next step of your career. Again, it is a part-time program, so our classes are in the evening. We have classes Monday through Thursday. We do not have classes on Friday. The occasional elective might fall on a Saturday, but typically speaking, your classes are maybe two times a week. If you're taking two classes on a Monday night and a Wednesday night, for example, that's my schedule currently. So I have marketing management on Monday nights, and I have economics on Wednesday nights, and I happen to have a high flex class. So in addition to being able to select what classes you take, the sequence of classes usually helps out with taking your core classes in the kind of order that you need to, and then you start getting into your electives. But you have some of those core classes that are offered in a high flex modality. So a small percentage, but still added flexibility in, can't make it to the River campus here at the University of Rochester in person two times a week. You can definitely take advantage of those high flex modality classes and just zoom into class. Really great experience that way as well. For the entire timeline of this program, you can do it in 2 years plus a semester. So not quite 2.5 years, but 2.25, if you will, if you're taking two classes all the way through. So again, we have 5 academic terms. So you may be familiar with the semester being, from August to December. Our semesters are also split into mini-mesters or terms. So you're taking 2 classes every 7 weeks. So you're able to take about 10 classes in 1 year. So people will take advantage of that flexibility and do that in 3.5 years. You have up to 7 years to be done with your professional MBA program. So next is our Executive MBA program, and this is for folks who really need more flexibility when it comes to modality. Maybe you travel a lot, maybe you are just outside of the Rochester area or across the globe. We have a lot of prospective students who are looking at this program for this upcoming year who are in different countries, which makes a very diverse student body in this program. Of course, we have a lot of students from the Rochester area, from upstate New York, and of course from the US, but we do have quite a bit of interest because this program allows for it to be done completely online or in person if you choose, or really any combination. We do get a lot of interest from people from diverse backgrounds, national origin, years of work experience, but we tend to see folks who have a few more years of work experience comparatively when we're looking at the professional MBA program to kind of compare and contrast the student body or the student profile. So we see 7 to 15 years of work experience tends to be, the 85% of our student profile in the Executive MBA program. So if it's really important to you to be surrounded by folks who are a little bit further in their career and connect with those individuals, this is a really great program for you, especially on top of that, the added bonus that you can zoom into class or come in person if you'd like to do that as well. This can be done in 22 months. So comparing the professional MBA to the executive, this is a shorter program. The flip side of the flexibility of the professional MBA program in how many classes you take at a time to the executive is that this is a more structured program. And so you know what day of the week your classes will be. It's every Wednesday night and every other Saturday for the majority of the program. So it is a little bit more condensed. It is a little bit faster paced. But you do have the ability to be done with the program sooner than the professional MBA. And so each of it, again, has its kind of unique points. And depending on what is important to you, we may kind of find the program that aligns with that. So classes, as I mentioned, every Wednesday night, every other Saturday, and you have a little bit, like I said, more structured of a curriculum. So it's curated for professionals who are a little bit further in their career. So you have those classes like strategy, marketing, accounting, finance, etc. You do have also some elective space. So you've got 3 elective options. And if you're interested in looking more into that curriculum, let us know and we can send that program sheet over to you. Next, we have our master's program. So our first is our Master's of Science in Medical Management. So if you are at the medical center across the street from us, if you are wanting to pivot into healthcare, this is a really great program because it ties in a lot of the concepts that you're going to learn in an MBA or in business school with that healthcare lens. So if you're wanting to move up into a more senior position in a large healthcare organization, this is going to be a really great program for you. So this is a shorter program additionally, and it is, again, for those who are looking to become leaders within healthcare. Additionally, what I really love about the MMM program is that you can go into the MBA after completing your MMM. So if you are still, excited about learning, you're interested in kind of, understanding financial, reading of budget sheets, of understanding accounting, of strategy, and those core business concepts, and you're thirsty for more, you can take your medical management classes as electives into that professional MBA program and be done with 2 degrees in about 3 years or so. So a lot of students will take us up on that and take the next step after completing the MMM program because they really enjoyed their experience. They're sort of lifelong learners and would enjoy to have that MBA title as well in their resume. So this program, again, is a little bit more structured. It's a network of students who you're going to get to know really well. It's 10 courses and then a capstone project. So you get really good hands-on experience solving a problem in from a clinic, or maybe you can, use your own problems that you are coming across in your division or in your company and bring that to the faculty director as an idea for a project. This is also a structured program. So you have classes every Tuesday night and every Tuesday night and 1 month you have, or 1 Saturday a month. Let me get it right at some point. So Tuesdays every night and then 1 Saturday per month is the schedule. So you have the ability to, have your weekends free for the most part. It is a full day on a Saturday once per month, and then Tuesday nights again from 5:40 to 9. We also offer a 2-year track. So you have the opportunity to do classes on your first year on those Saturdays, and then your second year, those Tuesday night classes. We also have the added flexibility because Tuesday nights tend to be a little tough sometimes, especially for healthcare professionals. You can do those classes on a high flex modality too. And lastly, we have our Masters of Science in Business Analytics and Applied AI. Again, as a graduate of this program, I'm always thrilled to chat with prospective students about their interest in this program. So this is for folks who are looking to understand analytics. What is the data telling you? What can you glean from this information? And then make a really good business decision and be able to communicate, what you're finding with the data. So this is a flexible format. Again, this is completely online, and everything from orientation to, professors' availability to classes all happen virtually. You're, of course, more than welcome to use the resources that Simon Business School students use in person if you are in the area. But this curriculum, again, is also a lockstep cohort-based, and the classes are Tuesday and Thursday nights from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And it's a 16-month program. So you have synchronous classes on those Tuesdays and Thursday nights, fall, spring, and then summer, there's a break. and then you come back the following fall or that fall and complete the program. So that culminates with a capstone project that's similar to the MMM program. You can bring in an idea to the faculty director and say, hey, I've always had this question that I'd like to solve, and now I have the tools to be able to do that with the things that I learned in this program. And you can pitch that idea to the faculty director for approval, or the faculty director will source some ideas from companies in the Rochester area or even outside of the area. And folks who want to have something solved by graduate students will kind of come by, and you're able to, present your findings or maybe pitch a solution to the members from that organization, which is a really great way to, again, get good hands-on experience. All right, so that's a little bit about our part-time programs. A reminder, if any of you are international or prospective students and you're looking at these programs, the part-time programs, unfortunately, are not eligible for student visas. So if that's a requirement for you, we might want to have a conversation about a different program if you want to come to the US and study. Alternatively, of course, we can talk about those high flex sort of modality programs that are available as well. So let's talk about the assignment application. And this is consistent with all of our programs, but we want to start first and foremost, of course, with academic preparedness. Assignment is an academically rigorous program, so your performance in class is going to be, of course, important, but we want to make sure that you are going to be successful and get the most out of the program. And so we'll look at things like your transcripts, and we'll talk about the documents that are required here shortly, but we want to ensure that you're going to be successful and get the most out of the program as well. So we want to see that from your background. Additionally, kind of going in a to the right there to the teamwork skills, you'll notice that I mentioned teamwork skills before, leadership or leadership, experience, and really because we want to stress that we have diverse students in your classes and within your teams. Our staff do a really good job of putting you with 3 or 4 other students for those group assignments. And we want to ensure that you're going to be successful and be a really great teammate to the other students in the program, and that you can kind of balance, each other's skills and expertise and communication skills and how you work together with other folks. And so seeing that you are a really great team member is going to be important. And that's more important than leadership. We can't all be leaders. There's opportunities for you to kind of flex those skills. And sometimes there's opportunities for you to play a supportive role or kind of help out where is needed in your assignments, et cetera. So we say that also to encourage folks who don't have, explicit management experience in their resume to apply. So leadership potential is our sort of second, or third there in the circle of qualities that make a really great assignment candidate, because we want to stress how important teamwork is in our programs. And then at the bottom there, you'll see clear goals. It's obviously something that, goes without saying to understand why you want to do an MBA. Sometimes we have that vague idea that we want to do something, but really sitting down with yourself and kind of doing some reflection on why is it exactly that I want to do this? Just having some time out of your day, especially during your application process, we're going to ask you that question within one of your essays. So reflecting on that is really important, because not only does that give yourself the idea that this is going to be the right path for you, it's going to be that motivation for you during the program as well. And so being able to sit down, reflect on what your goals are, either personally, professionally, or both, is going to be important for yourself, but also for the admissions committee to review. And the next is communication skills. So it's, of course, important to be able to communicate with others in your team efficiently and clearly, written and oral. And so we will, see that in your essays. We'll see that in your interview as well. And so we just want to ensure that communication, which is, one of the, if not the, number one item that's on a job description, it's one of the top few. being able to be communicative with your teammates and other members of the sign-in community is very, very important. So we want to see that in your application. And lastly, we're not looking for someone who is in the top percentage or the top sort of echelon of all of these traits, but has a healthy balance of these. And so I often have conversations with prospective students who are, a little bit weary of, well, my undergrad wasn't as great as it, could have been. Here's the reasons why. And that's okay, as long as you have a really good balance of these traits that make up a great Simon candidate. We think that you'd be a great candidate in our program. So if you have any hesitations, don't fail to start your application just because you feel like you may be a little bit lower in one of these traits than potentially other students. We definitely want to ensure that you have equal opportunity to showcase your skills and your background. So feel free to reach out to us, if you have any questions about these along the way. So let's talk about the application. So there are some required documents that the admissions committee wants to see from all of our applicants to, again, ensure that you'll be successful in our program and that you're going to feel that this is a good match for you in your goals and with your work experience and background. So first, your online application will show you that website here shortly, but our online application is going to capture, of course, your personal information, a little bit about you and your background. And then we're going to ask for your resume or a CV. So feel free to upload a current resume so that we can see your contributions from the organizations that you've been a part of. And then we'll also ask for transcripts. Again, this is a rigorous program, so we want to ensure that you're going to be successful. And so those quantitative skills and the comfort with those analytical skills is going to be key. If there is a potential for a gap there or opportunity for you to do some kind of refresher course, the admissions committee may reach out and say, hey, there's an opportunity for you to have some level setting skills during the summer, maybe before you start the program, and we can talk about those opportunities if you're open to those. We also ask for two essays that are required. So very straightforward. Why are you interested in this program and why is this the right time in your career? Additionally, asking, what do you feel like you will contribute to Simon's pledge to diversity, equity, and inclusion, which is something that's very important to Simon values. We also have two optional essays. One is something new that we've had in the last couple of years, which is a video essay response to a random prompt that pops up, and you have a couple minutes to respond to your camera, essentially, that will go to the admissions committee. So it kind of tests your ability to, answer a question on the spot. It's going to be something that's not technical, more so tell us about, an experience or tell us who you would select, as a dinner party, person, so someone who from celebrities or someone who from fictional characters. So something like that, a question that will kind of gauge your kind of interpersonal and communication skills. And then we'll ask for two references. So not letters of recommendation, you'll notice. We ask for contact information for references, and that can be a current supervisor, a previous supervisor or mentor, someone who can really speak to, why this program is important to you and your career. We usually do not reach out to references unless we have a question or something that we'd like to clarify from your application. And if we do reach out to them, we'll let you know ahead of time so you can contact them or give you an opportunity to change those references if you need to. We also have a $90 application fee that, for those of you watching today, congratulations, you've knocked something off of your required list of items here to complete your application. So application fee will be, a fee waiver will be added to your account by the end of day today. And so all you will do is submit your application once it comes time to do that, and you'll bypass the payment screen. And then some optional documents. I often get the question, what can I do to stand out from the crowd? How can I really boost my application? There's a few things that we would recommend. So one, a GMAT, GRE, those standardized tests aren't required, but if you have a standardized test, or an executive assessment that you'd like to showcase, please feel free to, upload those. We also have those optional essays that I mentioned. That's a good way to show your face and your personality and stand out from the crowd. And then if you have any other assessments, certifications, awards, a lot of folks are taking those LinkedIn, certifications or Coursera. You're more than welcome to upload those into your application to stand out from the crowd. Additionally, you do have an interview after you submit your application. So some tips there to make sure you're checking your emails to ensure that you're receiving the interview request so you can schedule some time to chat with someone from our admissions committee. Of course, making sure your technology is ready to go. We use the Zoom platform for pretty much everything, including our interviews. Select a quiet space, somewhere where you can, speak with someone, hear the interviewer clearly. And this is an opportunity also for you to fill in the gaps if you have any in the application, and be upfront about, hey, you may see this in my resume here, or you may see my undergrad wasn't, my GPA wasn't as great as I would have wanted it to be. Here's my plan of attack to be successful this time around. And if you have any questions, have them ready to go. This is a good chance to connect with someone from the Simon community, and talk to them about their experience in these programs or working with students in these programs. So if you'd like to ask any questions of them, you're welcome to do that. Additionally, a common question is about scholarships. So the scholarship award decision-making process is wrapped into the candidacy decision-making process for the admissions committee. So when you submit your application, there is a question in there about being considered for merit-based scholarships. And the great thing about our application is that you can just check that box off, and that's all you need to do to be considered for scholarships at Simon. So your entire application will be used for candidacy for review for candidacy for the program, but also for review for your scholarship award amount. All of that will be based on obviously the documents that you submit within your application. And those scholarship opportunities are available to all of our applicants. For those of you who are University of Rochester employees, you also qualify for merit-based scholarships. You may qualify for tuition benefits. So of course, once we use those, you do sometimes have a bit of a gap. So maybe 5–10% gap in what your tuition benefit is able to pay, and then what you're kind of on the hook for. So your scholarship opportunities at Simon can kind of help with that gap. There are additional scholarship opportunities that I'd love to talk about. One in particular is Simon Games. So the Simon Games competition is one that we have just kicked off for the fall games. We also have the spring games. So if you are interested in our professional MBA program that has a start in January, we have the fall games going on right now for you to register for. And what this is a business simulation competition for the chance for a full tuition scholarship. It allows you to dip your toe in the water of the content that's to come in business school. So you have to make business decisions within this dashboard. You work alone, so you're not with a team in this competition. You are, of course, vying for a full tuition scholarship against other competitors. But we also have more than $500,000 in scholarships to award to participants who do really well in the competition. So you have to go into the simulation, make business decisions, and hopefully get really good profitability, really great sales and revenue. And we factor in kind of the sort of scores that you get from doing really well in the simulation, and you have the potential to be invited to the second round, where in the second round of the competition, you are showing your members of the Simon community or the board of directors for this company that you're a part of in the simulation, why you made the decisions that you did in the simulation. Why did you take out as much as you did in loans, or why did you choose to fund research and development by this percentage versus into other things like marketing or getting a new warehouse, for example. So a lot of great opportunities for learning, for connecting with other participants in the competition as well, who are also looking at business school, and then a chance to get a really good scholarship. So if you have any questions about that, feel free to reach out to us or visit simon.rochester.edu/Simon Games for eligibility and more details there. So we're coming up at 12:30, and I want to be mindful of time here, but I wanted to very quickly talk about the application process. So feel free to go to apply.simon.rochester.edu/apply to get started with your application. Our deadlines are coming up. So we are 10 days out from our first deadline for the spring start to the professional MBA program. So our first one is October 15th. Our second deadline and final deadline for the spring start is December 1st. So we still do have a little bit of time. So I encourage you to open an application as soon as possible. And then we have our deadlines for the fall. If you are looking at starting a program next fall, I would encourage you still to open an application, start working on that, because the sooner you're able to submit, the sooner you can start making decisions for fall. And then connect with us if you have additional questions. You can check your eligibility without a formal application to the program and get some feedback. Schedule a chat with me or come and attend an event in person or virtual as well. So we encourage you to engage with us, get all the information that you need to ensure that you're making a really good decision for your education and for your personal and professional development. And I'll stick around if anyone has any questions, but thank you so much for joining us today. And I look forward to seeing your application very soon. Bye-bye.